Hey friends, welcome to the podcast. I am Melissa Matheson, and today on the show we're talking with one of my dear friends, Richard, who is a husband, father, teacher, gospel-loving preacher, and overall just a great person and friend. I just found out he's an Enneagram 1, just like me, which explains why we seem to totally understand so much about each other. In today's episode, Richard and I talk about one of the hardest days of his life and how he navigated his family through a season of transition, moving from one state to another. We're talking about raising daughters, changing careers, and jujitsu today on What's Next, God? And you drink coffee?
Barely.
So you don't drink coffee every day?
I'm not. No, ma'am. Believe it or not, I'm not. I'm more like a pre-gym guy.
Okay.
But
what is that?
Pre-gym is like
protein powders and drink.
No, that's too healthy. This is like 300 milligrams of caffeine, so it'd be like 4 cups of coffee and 18 ounces of water. And so you drink that.
It's like a powder?
Yes, ma'am. You mix with water, and then you just go.
But you don't go to the gym.
I don't go to the gym.
You just drink the stuff, and then you go to the gym.
I sometimes, honestly, Melissa, I drink pre-gym, and I don't go to the gym.
And then you just go to work?
Actually, I do it in the afternoon.
But it's called pre-gym.
Pre-gym. So you're supposed to drink it before you go to the gym, but I just do it like pre-life. Or pre-evenings.
Pre-day.
Or
pre-work.
Pre-dinner, pre-work. Yeah.
So
it's glorious. I can feel it now. So
when do you drink coffee?
When I'm with
Except
friends.
when you're talking to me at my table.
I'm with friends.
When you're with friends, you drink coffee?
Oh, yeah.
So I saw you put sugar in it.
Sugar and I are friends. I think we're related. I think we're cousins somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see how much sugar you put in that cup, though. How much?
Enough? Enough for you to probably fuss at me when this is over.
So I don't need to tell your wife, then, how much sugar?
She's... We keep this on the DL. I'm going to be all right about it.
Because when Dave and I got married, I watched him the first time. Well, no, we were dating, and I watched him put sugar in his coffee. And I could not believe how much sugar he put in his coffee.
Maybe it's a man thing.
I don't think that that's okay. So when he got married, he pulled back on the sugar, but now we're just like all the coffee creamer. And I don't even know if that's any better for you.
Maybe it's a give and take.
Maybe it's a give and take.
I think the creamer's better than the sugar because it's more like milk-based.
It's not. They're
Of course it's
no,
milk-based.
it's not.
Sure it is.
They're non-dairy coffee creamers.
Oh my gosh.
They're not even real. It's all fake. Processed,
it's not
full of sugar,
it's
but it is
straight from the cow.
So
it's straight from the cow.
good.
Just like,
what kind of coffee creamer? You used a Cinnabon coffee creamer.
Did I really?
I think you did. Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Mm-hmm.
It's
not bad.
I have Italian cream in mine.
It's a good Italian cream. Anything sweet.
Anything sweet. That's kind of how I like my coffee, which is why I can't have too much because it's just not good for you to have it like that. If I ever had to drink coffee black, I just wouldn't drink it because I don't really enjoy the coffee sometimes as much as I do. Now, I'll go someplace to a coffee shop and try like some new roasted espresso or something and where you taste all the flavors. I will do that when I'm somewhere just because it's kind of cool and fun. I don't do that every day, so. And actually, I've been trying to do green tea and not as much coffee lately. I know, but it's so good for you.
Yeah, so they say.
But doesn't quite give me the jolt that pre-gym.
Pre-gym jolt.
All right, so pre-gym it is.
Pre-gym it is.
How long have you been doing this pre-gym thing?
Not long enough to be concerned about my health.
Oh, okay. Now, you also do jujitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, which I'm recovering from last night.
What is that?
So jiu-jitsu is a martial art that's not really so much about striking or kicking. It's about wrestling and then getting into a control position and then submitting somebody by choking them.
And this is fun.
It is.
Do you do it more for the exercise and your health, or is it because like God made you a man and you need to be able to wrestle?
Can I be vulnerable with you?
Yes.
Several different reasons, but I'll be vulnerable for this reason. I get offended fairly easily.
Okay.
I have thin skin, so I decided, if I have a grown man on top of me choking the life out of me, I'll probably develop thicker skin.
Yes.
So.
That doesn't make you like angrier.
No, it's actually very calming.
Ah.
I know. It's
Why
like,
is that?
I don't know. So we rolled There were 6 people in class last night, and we did 5-minute rolls, and we just went back to back to back to back to back, and you're just physically exhausted. So,
Were you athletic when you were a kid?
yes.
Yes, you were?
Yes.
Really? What did you do? So you were born in Virginia.
Virginia, the VA, the 804.
The 804. And you lived there your whole life, born and raised.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. What sports?
Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. Are
the
you
capital of the South.
The
Until you move to Alabama, they're like,
that's
no,
not the
I don't think so.
South. You're an only child, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my. Oh, this is why you don't have thick skin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you had been raised with a lot of siblings.
You had how many?
I am one of 10.
One of 10.
Yeah, so real thick skin.
So you have armor.
Yes,
skin.
so I don't need jujitsu. I had siblings.
You had siblings that you fought with.
That kept me humble.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yes.
9, 10. Like
Yeah.
10.
You should do Christmas with us. It's nuts. It is, or Thanksgiving. I need to do that. One day, if they're all here in Hamilton, you
I'm
and
coming.
Christy just
Yeah, we're
swing
coming.
by and have some coffee with us. And just, you'll need about 10 minutes. And then you'll be like, okay, let's go.
No, I think that would
Because it is the most organized chaos you have ever been a part of in your life. It's so much fun, but it is so loud. And there are so many people, but I love it. I love having just everybody there, everybody running around, everybody talking at once. The poor husbands. So there's 6 girls. All of their poor husbands go, because us girls will get together and just start laughing about the dumbest stuff, like laughing so hard we can't even talk. And the husbands are like, I don't know.
It forces them to talk to each other, though.
It does. So, and they all get along really great. So I hate,
10.
Yeah, we just need to adopt you.
10.
Yeah, I know.
That's like the Brady Bunch times 5.
Times something.
That's crazy.
No, the Brady Bunch was 6. 6
I know,
plus
but
4.
10 seems like, but 10 sounds a lot more than 6.
But now there wasn't all 10 of us at one time. So there were like 5 of us at home. And then when the oldest one moved away, my mom had another one. So there wasn't like 10 kids living at home all day, every day. It wasn't quite like that. So, but
still
enough
10.
that you just learn not to get your feelings hurt so easy.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. All right. So you were playing sports. Back to sports as a kid. What'd you play?
Basketball.
Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Were you any good, or did you just think you were good?
I was epic in my mind.
What did your mom and dad say?
Not too bad.
No, they said you weren't too
Not
bad.
too bad.
Would they have told you the truth if you were not good?
No, probably not.
Oh, good. That's a good mom.
Now,
and
if
dad
I
right
was
there.
in your family, 10 kids, there would have been an honest assessment right away.
From
like, Richard,
every sibling, they'd been like,
you suck.
"Nah, that's not your thing." I'd be like, "Ah, you're just jealous."
That's right.
Yeah.
You need to go lift weights. You need to do something.
So basketball was your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what did you do after high school? Did you do basketball in high school?
Wasn't good enough to make the high school team, but in my defense and honest assessment, there was a pretty good team. We had a guy from Australia who was 6'7", and in high school that's tall.
Pretty big.
And he's just dunking on everybody. So we just enjoyed being a dog pound and rooting him on. But it was good.
Well, good. So no sports in high school then.
No sports in high school. So good, but not good enough to make the high school basketball
Were
team.
you like super smart in school? Like,
No. I was unmotivated in school, unfortunately.
Really? Why?
I just didn't know who I was.
Were you a good kid in high school? Like
Goody two shoes.
afraid to get in trouble?
Yeah, afraid.
I was
yeah.
too.
Really?
Yeah. Because that's like an oldest child thing, I think.
Were you the oldest one?
Well, I'm the oldest girl. So I had 2 older brothers, but I was the oldest girl, and there was like a big gap, 7 and 8 years between my 2 older brothers. And then I was my dad's first. So there was that first child. So even though you were the only child, you were still the first child.
Yeah.
So that could be that. Be excellent, smart, teacher's pet,
Oh, yeah.
maybe a little bossy, but really that's leader.
No, bossy.
Not
No.
you. Just used to having everything your way because you were an only child.
No, not really.
It's like you were the first child, the middle child, and the baby in the family.
all wrapped into
Oh,
one.
look at you. This is why you
Special.
needed jujitsu in your
Jiu-jitsu.
life.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah.
What did you do after high school? Did you go to college?
Straight to college.
Where'd you go?
Virginia Commonwealth University. Because if I say VCU, everybody thinks that's outside of Richmond, Virginia. But I say BCU, like Boston College University. So we have to say Virginia Commonwealth.
Virginia Commonwealth. What'd you study?
Criminal justice.
That's right. I remember. Did you love that?
I did. Other aspects of college, I think I liked too much too.
Yeah. Did you finish college?
I did.
You did?
Graduated in 4 years. Cum laude. Thank you,
Look
Lottie.
at you.
Look
at you being all fancy.
Mm-hmm.
So
when I found my purpose, that's when I found my purpose is when I came alive.
Which
in
is
high
what?
school. Or it used to be law enforcement.
Law enforcement.
That was my purpose.
So you graduated college, went into the law enforcement. What all did you do there? Because you were with like a SWAT team and stuff too.
SWAT team my last 9 years. Yes, ma'am. So I was in law enforcement for 18 years.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good career.
I did not realize it was that long.
It was, the last 9 years were awesome because I was a detective, and the sheriff's office I was with was an investigator, criminal investigator, and shirt and tie suit. So you go up to a bank robbery that just happened, and you're like Men in Black, getting out of the car, putting on sunglasses, in a nice suit. Dude, it's just awesome. Mm-hmm. And then the SWAT aspect was, if they had a drug deal that went wrong, or they had a drug house that they wanted to do a raid, that's who they called. And that was you talk about pre-gym. You don't have to drink pre-gym to do a raid.
You just go to work.
Dude, there's nothing like it.
Really?
Nothing.
And
like
you loved it?
Loved it.
Were you ever scared?
Oh, yeah.
What if I asked you about a specific incident or a memory that happened to you, good or bad? What do you think about? Like, what's something that sticks out to you from your time?
There are so many memories. So many. A lot of them I tell stories. I got a good one for you.
Tell me.
First foot pursuit. And when I came out of the academy, I was in shape, running all the time. And this guy it was on Christmas Eve during the day. I stopped him for like an expired inspection sticker or something. They don't even have that in Alabama. Pulled him over. He didn't have a driver's license. I walked back to my car to run his information, and he takes off on foot, and we're just hopping through fences, going through backyards. It's just crazy. It's just like stuff you see on TV.
Did you catch him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. I cheated, though.
How did you cheat?
I used pepper spray.
Do what you gotta do.
I sprayed his head. It looked like a pumpkin. Pepper spray looks orange when it comes out.
Yeah. So. Oh, I didn't know that. I have never been pepper sprayed.
right, because you didn't run from the police on Christmas Eve.
No, I have never run from the police on Christmas Eve.
Don't do that.
I am very law-abiding. Mm-hmm. I have a healthy respect. I'm an Enneagram 1. We're all about the rules.
Yes, so am I.
You're a 1?
I'm a 1.
You're a 1?
I'm a 1.
I didn't know you were a 1.
Personality is the same. Of course we're a 1.
You get it.
Get it.
It's justice. It is rules are here for a reason.
Honor.
And it is, honor is huge.
If
honoring authority.
You're in a position of authority and you ask me to do something,
yes.
If I don't do it, then I'm completely dishonoring you. I told this to somebody last night. Somebody in my life wanted to quit something they were called to do. I asked them to lead worship for me at a service we're going to this weekend. And she was very honest with her feelings. She said, I want to quit. I was like, if you quit, you're honoring the enemy over me.
That's true.
And she's like, what? No, I was just like dealing with all this stuff and didn't feel like I was qualified. I was like, well, that's being, I guess, a 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, oh man, well, I'm not quitting. I was like, well, thank you.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you.
To the end. We are all in 1. What's your wing?
I never got into the wing part.
Oh, you didn't?
No. Do I need to discover my wings?
Yes. Okay, because you have.
I have wings.
You have wings.
I better let them out.
You have wings. So 1 would be like your body. You got to think of your wings. You can be either a 9 or a 1. And so you have your core number 1.
This sounds like a workout, Melissa.
And then you like jujitsu?
Yeah, okay.
That's a rolling kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
But this
Gotcha.
helps, you'll just kind of know where you lean. So whether you're a 9 or a 1. I mean 9 or a 2 as your wing.
All right, so if my core is a 1.
Yes, you can only lean to the 9 or you can
9.
lean to the 2. Yep, okay. Those are the only ways. So you need to study your wing.
Wings.
And figure out where you are.
Isn't there a song about underneath my wings or...
I don't know.
A Bette Midler
the wind
song.
The wind beneath my wings. Don't sing it.
Okay.
You already asked if you could sing.
It's coming.
You could
it's that pre-gym
sing.
Working in me.
It is. And you did pre-gym and you're drinking coffee right now.
I can't really feel it.
Are you going to sleep tonight? Maybe.
Not even wired yet.
Oh, okay, good. Not yet. All right, so tell me when you met Christy, your beautiful wife.
Oh my gosh. We've got to keep it PG, right?
Yes, keep it PG because that's our
PG
Wednesday.
rated.
Those are our Wednesday shows where we do The Camels Are Coming. We'll have to do one with you and your wife.
Christy Gray and I met in a fraternity sorority mixer. And I won't tell you what the theme was because we're keeping it PG, praise God.
Yes.
When I saw her, I wasn't living for the Lord, Melissa.
Okay.
And I was in an altered state.
Okay.
An altered condition. But when I saw her, I knew.
The heavens opened up.
Even intoxicated, I knew.
Really?
I knew.
You hadn't had a conversation with her or anything?
Just saw her.
You just saw her?
I just saw her, and I was like, that is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life. And it wasn't beer goggles, I promise. It was.
Really?
Yeah, it was truly love at first sight.
Did you go talk to her that night?
No. Actually, here's the funny thing. My best friend in high school was her big sister, her little sister in the sorority.
Okay.
And so that's how we met, but she was with someone else.
Oh.
So she was not available.
She was not available, but you waited.
I waited.
And look.
Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength.
Now I think of Habakkuk 2. The vision is yet for an appointed
that's
time.
Right. Come on.
Though it tarry, wait for it.
Come on, that's right.
For it
wait
will
for
surely
it.
come
to pass. That's right.
Yes. I use that for so many things.
That's a good vision.
So how long after that until she didn't have somebody and you were able to ask her about
Well, here is a relationship plug.
Okay, plug it.
Learn to be a friend with the person that you feel like you're going to be with. Even at a very young age. We became very close friends because she wasn't available. So
that was off the table, right?
Off the table. So we just got to know each other's friends, although there was the burning for me.
So did she like you too?
We've been married 22 years.
But like before y'all started dating. Mm-mm. No, you had to ask her and then because she thought you were just friends.
Right.
Gotcha. How long have y'all been married?
22 years.
22 years.
Does that number mean anything to you?
It does.
Yeah?
Isaiah 22. I love 22. 22 is a great number. And you have 2 girls.
I do.
Tell me about your girls.
Pride and Joy.
Oh, first name Pride.
Last name Joy.
No, really, Savannah and Mariah.
Swilly. She'll probably want me to edit that, but we're going to keep it.
Her nickname is Swilly.
Swilly.
How did she get that nickname?
She's running.
S. Wilson?
Yes, Savannah
okay.
Wilson.
Yeah.
She's running track in middle school in Virginia, and the jersey that she had S. Wilson. Mm-hmm. And so her track coach called her Swilly.
Gotcha.
And it just stuck with me. Now, she kept it for about 3 years, and then she grew out of it. But I
have always.
I'm still growing.
Yes. Well, you're her dad, and you always will be. And so she will always be.
Amen. You hear that? Always.
Always. And she's a nurse.
She's an ER nurse in Tupelo, Mississippi.
She's amazing.
The birthplace of Elvis.
Yes.
I'm not going to go there.
Don't sing.
I kind of feel it.
You want to sing.
I kind of feeling it.
Oh, man. All right, maybe at the end, we'll let you close out the show with the song. Mariah's a freshman in college, University of Alabama.
Let's say it. Roll Tide.
Oh, I can't say it.
Why can't you?
Because that's just not my thing. Can I just be Switzerland? Be neutral?
No, you're in Alabama. You can't be neutral. That's
but
against
Auburn's
the law.
in Alabama too.
Or Eagle.
Okay.
We can honor them.
Okay. Yes, culture of honor. Look at you.
You're number 1, so you know about that. Just one little
we
roll
are
tide. Just
Enneagram 1.
Roll tide. Amen.
All right, amen. So we can tell me about raising girls.
Raising girls was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Why?
Because I'm a man. And guys don't think like girls. They
they
don't. There's
don't.
there's nowhere. It's
No.
night and day. It's Venus and Mars. It's the whole book. It's so true. Men's capacity to think is limited.
Yeah.
If you compare them to women's ability to think and reason and feel. And then not only married to Christy, but raising two girls and just seeing how they respond to everything and how they think. I'm like, it just opened me up, I believe. I think it opened my ability to think outside of what your typical male thought pattern would be, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Was it hard to raise them because you didn't think like them?
No.
It wasn't hard.
It was glorious. They are the best children.
They really are great girls.
Every parent thinks that about their kids, obviously.
Yeah, but I'm not their parent, and I'm sitting here going, those are great girls, and I want to know how you raised great girls. How did you do it?
2 words.
Christy Wilson?
Christy Gray. See, number 1. Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
Mm-hmm. It's just a great balance. Balance is a sometimes frowned upon in charismatic Pentecostal circles, but I'm all about balance.
What do you mean by balance? Like balance and discipline? Balance and what?
Everything. She would be more...
Oh,
truth.
you and Christy being
balanced
in how you parented.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's truth and I'm grace, and then I'm truth, and then she's grace, and then
Gotcha.
I'm grace and she's mercy, and then that's when it called for it, and we were both, double barrels.
And that's a big deal. So I was, a single mom for so many years.
How did you do it?
And you didn't have a choice. You just didn't have a choice. That was it.
How?
There's just no other option. But the thing I love, and you guys were so incredible. And this is why I wanted you to talk about daughters, because I had daughters when I was a single mom. And when did I meet you? 2010?
2011.
2011. And so my girls were 10 and 6.
Crazy.
And you were, of course, my oldest is the same age as Savannah and Mariah. So they were just 3 girls just hanging out and doing stuff. And the way you loved on my Molly while I was a single mom and showed her what dads look like was huge in her life.
Yeah.
And I don't know, not every daughter can say that and about their relationship with their dad, but you just did something right and well that your girls are amazing like they are. Did you ever feel inadequate?
No.
Ever question?
No, it was just, no, I don't know. I guess it was just the grace of God.
Yeah.
For every season. Like you, I look at you and you have amazing children.
Thanks.
And you were single for so long. And I'm like, you're saying, how did you raise Savannah and Mariah? And I'm like, how did you raise your trio?
Me and God, because
How?
I didn't have but I love that how you were talking about how you and Christy did that together. Mm-hmm. I think that's a huge key for parenting healthy children is a mom and a dad that are doing it together.
Yes.
That they are on the same team, your strengths, her weaknesses, her strengths, your weakness, together doing this and recognizing, okay, well, I probably need to take the lead on this one,
right.
or you take the lead on this one, because this is going to be, I just think that that's huge and something that you and Christy did really well and are doing really well, because not only do you have your daughters now, but the way you guys are parenting and mentoring young people with what you do here where we are. And gosh, you told me you got 16 kids going to be in your garage.
However many, like babies,
playing
kids, man,
here in a little bit.
multiply.
Yeah, they just come because you got that swimming pool in your backyard.
The swimming pool helps.
Yeah.
The swimming pool helps.
Because Hamilton gets,
Hot.
Alabama is hot.
Hot.
It's hot in the
Did
summer.
you know that this year, I think it was in July or August, 105 degrees air temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah. I work at a plant that doesn't have air conditioning.
Does it not?
Does it not?
Do you work inside?
No, ma'am.
You work
I'm
outside?
in the plant. No, I'm inside the
You're
plant.
inside?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It doesn't have like those big garage doors and you have
Fans.
some air. Ooh. Yeah. Which is why you need pre-gym.
Pre-gym. Probably not pre-gym on that day. My gosh.
Yes.
The day of Hades and Sheol just
Kill
opened
you.
up.
Tell me about moving. You moved your family from Virginia
The capital
to
of the
Alabama.
South to the deep South.
Yes, the Bible. Are we the Bible Belt? No, Tennessee. What do they call the Bible
I would
Belt?
say Alabama's probably the buckle of the Bible Belt. It's probably every notch. My gosh, you go down Hamilton to town of 6,000, and how many churches do you see on the main street?
Yeah, like 312 churches.
Yeah,
In
312 is a
Hamilton.
good number.
Yeah. I don't know how many. I just made that up. But there's a lot.
A lot.
There's a
on
lot.
every corner,
Yeah.
which is good.
So you moved your family. How old were your girls when you moved?
So that was 2014, and that was the hardest day. July 1st, 2014 is the day we moved. It was the hardest day of our lives because we left everything. It was we had a great life in Virginia. Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic job. My wife and I had fantastic jobs. Fantastic school, fantastic house, church. Plug to Jeff and Kimberly Hill. Love you guys.
What church was that?
Destiny Church in Chester, Virginia.
Destiny Church, Chester, Virginia, if you need a home church.
Yes, amen. They just love so well. So we had it, and we had everything.
So why did you move?
The Lord.
It makes me think of Kevin Costner in Field of Dreams when he said, I'd never done a crazy thing in my life until I heard the voice.
Until I heard the voice.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a story to tell you. I don't know if we can go there now. I might get up and run.
It's because all the
I
pre-gym.
know we might save that for later. No, it's about just
The Lord.
the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you felt like the Lord wanted you to move. Just pick up your whole family.
Quit your job.
Quit your jobs.
2 years before I could qualify for early retirement, which would have locked in a very nice salary when I hit 50.
Yes. But you felt like the Lord say, move.
Melissa, when we hear people say, I left on a word, Christy and I didn't even have a word.
So what did you have?
We had a drawing. Have you ever felt drawn to somebody?
Yes.
Have you felt a pull?
Yes. My husband.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right, how about this? Have you ever been to a place and when you get there, you're like,
I feel like home.
I didn't know this existed.
Gotcha. Yes. And you felt that here. And
the very first time I visited in November of 2011 when I helped two friends move here. And I walked in on a Friday night. And I had said, this is so funny, I told them because the drive from Richmond, Virginia to Hamilton, Alabama is 12 hours. And on a good day with traffic. I helped them move. I've never driven that far before. And when we got here, I said,
oh, who was moving? Was that Eric and Andrea McBride?
Yes.
They were my neighbors.
They were my best friends.
At Lakeside. They were your best friends.
Best friends.
I didn't know
Every
that.
Friday night at our house for hours. Friday night, yeah.
You moved them into
Lakeside,
where I was living. Did you know that?
No.
I lived in B2, and they got moved into like B6 or
B6,
something,
okay, yeah.
B5, B6.
Yeah. It's also a good vitamin.
Yes, it is. I did not know. I remember when they moved in, but I didn't know you then.
Yeah, just the three of us moved. And I told them, I love you. You're my closest friends. I'm never coming back to Hamilton. I can't handle the drive. It's just too much. We drove through the night. We went after we got off work, and I said, there's no way.
Yeah.
And they took me to a service.
So when you say they're talking about the ramp in
At the
Hamilton,
ramp,
Alabama,
yes.
they took you to a service at the ramp.
And I had already been awakened for 2 years. So
Awakened meaning like you knew there was a real God.
Awakened like came alive. Been saved, but still asleep since I was 5.
Explain what saved and asleep means.
Knew the Lord, loved him dearly with all of my heart, but still something was missing. Something like I was still bound in sin. And I knew I was saved because I would feel so convicted every time I did it. But oh man. I don't know if we can even go there, but awakened to the reality of the presence of a real God.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just something I knew about, somebody I knew.
When did that change happen? Was it like a moment or was it?
I actually heard it on a podcast.
Okay. What podcast?
John's Baptism.
Okay.
In 2009.
All right.
Ramp. Yeah.
And you heard somebody preaching and talking about being awakened, and you knew there was something more.
I knew there was something more. And after that, I consumed podcasts. That's why I'm so passionate about them now.
Yeah, so I think the thing about that is you heard something that provoked in you a desire to pursue something.
Yes.
It was something that you said, there's something about that, and I want to know more about that.
Yes.
And then it began a journey for you. So it wasn't necessarily like it was a light switch, but in a way it was something you had to go after to,
right. It was definitely a pursuit.
To explore and figure out, what is this that I am sensing? What am I being drawn to, kind of thing. So you came to Hamilton, moved to some friends, went to the ramp.
Went to this first service.
And you just
blew
said,
me away that presence that I felt, listening to that podcast and every subsequent podcast was now in this room, but magnified by about 150.
So you were feeling the manifest presence of God in a way you had never felt in your whole life.
I didn't know that this place existed. I didn't know that type of presence existed.
With the Lord. Were you raised Baptist?
Yes, ma'am.
I
we were
was
asked
too.
to leave the Baptist church.
Oh, my.
After my mom was awakened.
Ah, gotcha.
What's up, Mom?
Go, Mom.
See what you started?
Yeah. So you moved to Hamilton because you wanted to be a part of what?
I just could not. I started, after we started coming to the ramp 3 or 4 times a year, after I said I would never come back. And after that initial drive, and then you go to that first service, and you're like, oh my goodness, what is this? And you started coming back 3 or 4 times a year. And then after the summer intensive, I think where you and I first connected.
Yeah, that was in 2011. I remember.
July.
And you started coming a couple of times a year to Hamilton, Alabama.
I couldn't stay
You
away.
were a police officer. And then I remember one day you said, hey, my whole family, we're going to move to Hamilton. I was like, oh, wow.
How about that?
How about that? And you did. You came. I remember meeting your wife for the first time, and your girls were so little.
Man, that was the worst day for them, though, because they'd left everything. And
Their friends.
The friends were so important in that high school, middle school years. And they had a very good life. And
how do you, as a parent, help children? What did you do to help them in that process of moving?
I had a lot of people that would pour into them. I'll never forget going to the 4th of July celebration at Miss Karen's house 3 days after we moved, and the girls were still in tears. And I'll never forget walking into Miss Karen's house, and she ran up to us, like from a distance, like you see somebody from a distance, and she started running, "You're here! You're here!
Aww.
You're here!" And we're just blown away. Like, the leader of this movement she knows us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she saw that Mariah was struggling, and she took her by the hand, and off they went. And just so many people were it's just such a community here, because everybody that moves from out of state, from home here, is for the same reason.
Right.
It's just, God is here.
A pursuit of the presence of God.
And God is everywhere. Obviously, He's omnipresent, but it's just this presence that you get there, and it's like,
yeah.
And so,
how did that move change your life?
Change my life? That's a loaded question.
Because you're not the same person you were.
Sure I am.
When you moved here. You're completely different. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe.
So helping your girls through that is being intentional about finding community.
And when you first move here too, and it's just the 4 of you, until they start making friends, they don't have their friends they can draw from. There's that connection for family, that was just a bond. And
you guys were good about running them back for little surprise trips every now and then. And I think that was probably helpful for them too.
There's also came a time where we would go back home for those surprise trips, and it didn't feel like home anymore.
Ah.
So that transition, when you go from one place to the other, and you feel like this awkward tension of like, well, where I left is still home, and where I'm going is home, and you're like, you're feeling drawn in both places. There will come a time where the place that you left no longer feels like home. Yeah. And when you know it, you'll know it.
How long did that take for your family?
About 2 years.
Really? Mm-hmm. That long?
We just knew because we had talked about we're going to come down here for the Ramp School of Ministry, graduate, get ordained, and move back.
Yep.
We're going to move back to Virginia. We're going to finish out the career, going to go into traveling ministry when I retire.
And that's not what happened.
No, ma'am.
5 years later.
5 years later.
Still here. Finished with ministry school. Girls are out of high school, in college.
In college, doing their thing.
Doing their thing.
Doing their thing.
So what do you do now? What are you doing?
What am I
You finished
doing?
with ministry school.
Ministry school.
You're not going back to being a police officer, it doesn't look like.
No, ma'am. You know, it's funny, working for a job, the funny thing about transitions is the Lord will take you through a place, maybe even with a job, that wouldn't be your first choice.
Of course.
Or your
Yes.
second.
Yes.
Or your third.
Yes.
Or even your 10th.
Yes.
And when you can't see what he's doing in the moment, just know that he's working. I worked for a job a year and a half after ministry school that I absolutely hated.
So why did you keep doing it? Because you felt like that's what you were supposed to be doing?
No, I didn't know what I honestly just lost.
Yeah.
Honestly lost. And the only thing that kept me going was the Lord.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, it's like you're all I have to keep me going. I don't understand what you're doing. Looking back on that year and a half now, I had to go through that.
Right.
There were things in me still that needed to be resolved. I had a lack of humility and a lack of compassion. And when you go through a transition of working a job that you hate, you get humbled really quick.
Yeah. So when you left that job, did you love the next job you had?
I wouldn't say I love it, but I like it a lot.
Is that the job you're in now?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's
Because
a
you
good
work with
job.
some really great people too.
That makes the job. I work with two of my closest friends, and my general manager is a mentor. And he teaches, I know the Lord is preparing me for a leadership role.
Yeah.
Because I'm around so many leaders.
Yes.
It's just like you can't be around, pay attention to the people that you're around the closest.
So true. So true.
Pay attention, Melissa.
Yep.
Pay attention.
I agree.
Close attention, because what's on them
Yep.
will get on you. And then that's what you need for where you're going next.
I agree. I tell people all the time, even students right now in the ministry school here, pay attention to who you're in class with, because in 20 years, when you're pastoring a church and you need a worship leader, or you're doing conferences and you need a worship team, or you're a worship leader looking for a church, or you are a nurse, or, you're going to go, who do I know doing this or that? Oh yeah, somebody I went to ministry school with. And these are going to be connections that the Lord is going to use for you in other areas of your life.
Until he comes back.
So
that's glorious.
Be nice.
That's right. Here, those RSM students, be nice.
Be nice to who you're in class with.
No
and
envy.
even now, even as adults, you're not in ministry school anymore, but your work environment, who you're with, it's not what you're going to do the rest of your life where you are. Mm-mm. But you are where you are, that you have an assignment there.
That's exactly right. And
forever, however long you're there for. And while you're there, you're all in.
That's exactly right. And that is just so needed for anybody that's going through any type of transition. Know this, that wherever you are, you're supposed to be there.
Yep.
Because...
How do they know?
Because they're there.
Because they're there. When do they know it's time to go?
God will make it abundantly clear.
You will know it's time to go.
Just like I was drunk when I met Christy Gray, but I knew she was the one.
Because there was truth. That was truth.
It was truth. And how do you say, well, how you'll know? There will be such a knowing inside of you. You'll know. And you can even feel it coming.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You remember Star Wars?
No.
Episode number 7. Help me out, Dave.
No, I don't. I don't know Star Wars. I'm sorry.
What? You've got to know Star Wars. Talk about justice.
No.
Anyhow.
So
Star Wars is
laughing because he knows.
That's right.
I don't know Star Wars.
All right, so Star Wars, they have the last movie in 2005, episode 3. It's the grand finale, or so we thought. So they started with episode 4, 5, and 6. Then they went to episode 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
And then
I did know that.
You did know that?
I did.
Okay, so you kind of know Star Wars if you know that.
But that's all I
the
know.
sequence.
I
Okay.
knew that you needed to watch film 4, 5, 6,
6, 1, 2,
and
3.
then 1, 2, 3. Yes.
So there's a gap between 2005 until 2015. So a 10-year gap, and then they decided they're going to make episode 7. And the first trailer for episode 7, which is probably one of the most watched movies of all time, the trailer said, "There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?"
Yes.
So in wherever you are in your season and you're feeling transition coming up, you'll actually start to feel it. There's like a rumbling on the inside, and you may not know what it is. You may not even discern it at first, but it's like a
I know
change
exactly.
in seasons.
Yes. You can feel it coming.
Yes.
Yes. I can understand exactly what you're saying. So you know it's coming. I think one of the biggest things too that I've learned in different types of transitions that I've gone through even recently, most recently, is don't fight the transition.
Right.
When you know a season is over and that there's a new assignment coming, don't hold on to
The old assignment.
You got to let it go.
Right.
And sometimes that can be hard. There's that verse that talks about in the Bible, he who gives up houses and lands for my name's sake. What does the rest of it say?
He will inherit 100
times
in this lifetime.
In this
a lot
lifetime.
Of time, people believe that's referring to eternity when they go
Yep.
to heaven. No, but I believe, because we're number ones, that's right now. Here's another thing for people in transition. Just know that what he has for you is
It's
good.
so much better, yes, than
It's
if
good.
you were to stay where you're not supposed to be.
It's good.
Yes,
No good thing will we lack. No good thing.
yes.
So even if it's hard, it's still good. Sometimes we go through hard seasons and we think it's bad, but actually hard seasons are for our good.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Did I open
we
the
could
can
have.
of worms? Do I need to put
That
that
is
lid
a
right back
whole,
on there?
that is going to have to be part 2.
Okay, let's put John Maxwell's Law of the Lid, put it right back on there, and I'm sorry. That's just a verse been going through me. There's 4 Psalms that's been with me for the last week. I just go into morning prayer and just start listening, and he'll start saying either Psalm 20, Psalm 27, Psalm 32, or Psalm 34. And when I hear that, I'll go read one.
Mm-hmm.
Psalm 27. I would have lost heart unless I believed I will see the goodness of the Lord
In the land of the living.
Whatever we go through, whatever he has for us, it is good.
Yes.
It may be hard.
But it is good.
It is
Because
incredibly
God
good.
is
It's
good.
And he can't help but be good.
So you like to preach.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a call of God on your life to preach, don't you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us a little bit about what you do right now on your weekends when you're not working, your other job.
The other job is Blacksmith Ministries.
So you have a ministry where you preach,
Yes, ma'am.
go around to other churches, you
Yes,
do
ma'am.
traveling ministry.
My heart is to encourage the church. I have been in church my entire life, since I was 5 years old. I had a drug problem, so anytime the church doors were open, my parents drugged me to church.
Really?
In church all day, every day. Amen.
I had that kind of drug problem too.
Yeah. See, nothing
I was raised Baptist.
That's right. Me too.
It was Baptist.
Yeah.
You have to go to church.
It's got to. That's
Sunday,
a good thing.
Sunday
though.
morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, Monday night visitation.
Royal
Prison
ambassadors.
ministry.
Did you have that?
We didn't have royal ambassadors.
Missing out. It's like Boy Scouts for Baptist.
Yeah, we had Awana.
Awana, okay, yeah.
We did
My
Awana.
girls did that.
Yeah, so that's what we did. You also have a podcast. What's
I
it
have a
called?
podcast, Blacksmith Ministries.
Blacksmith Ministries on iTunes.
On
and other
iTunes,
places.
Spotify, Podbean.
Yep, podcast, Google Podcasts, probably everywhere you can listen to a podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
Blacksmith Ministries.
Blacksmith Ministries.
You have a website? What's your website?
www.blacksmithministries.org.
.org. We'll put all that in the show notes too, so if people want to be able to connect with you. So you travel, preach, conferences, churches,
done
all of it.
conferences. I really like speaking to leadership teams. I really enjoy going into a church like on a Saturday night and meeting with the leadership team. And really, I've been on executive leadership teams since I've been an adult in the church. So I really understand what it's like to be serving a senior pastor in an executive type role, and just instilling in them, catch the vision that he has and push it.
And serve the pastor.
Serve the pastor, honor the pastor.
Do you do anything within the workplace, like for corporations or businesses, with this culture of honor?
It's so interesting that you asked that.
Really?
And the answer is not yet, but I can feel that. That's rumbling.
I could so see you doing
rumbling
that.
On honor.
In corporations, talking to their leadership teams, their management teams about creating cultures of honor within the workplace.
It's so huge.
Sure.
It's so huge in churches, and it's so foreign to most churches that's never been taught about when the leadership team begins to honor the senior pastor and the senior pastor's wife and their family.
Yes.
And treat them with honor and care and respect. Then it begins to trickle down to the entire body. The highway of heaven, the way that heaven travels to earth, is on the highway of honor.
I believe that.
When honor is in the culture, it just opens the door for miracles.
It does.
Opens the
Supernatural.
door. Supernatural.
Cannot be explained. And sometimes I don't even realize that I probably reap benefits of seeds of honor sown, and I don't even realize that they're tied together.
Just because that's who you are.
Just because it's supernatural, even how it works. And I just believe that there is favor that I have today that I don't even really remember or know, and it's tied to places of honor.
And how you've treated the leadership and how you've obviously treated their families. Mm-hmm. And it just opens the door.
Well, I honor you.
Well,
man of God.
I honor you.
Pre-gym drinker.
Coffee. Novice.
Father of daughters. Do you have a song you want to sing as we close? What you feeling? What's burning in your spirit, man of God? Elvis?
I felt the Elvis, but now it's lifted.
It's lifted.
Yeah,
all right.
Have to pass.
Well, we'll let the show music close us out. Thanks for coming by and talking
Melissa,
with me.
it's been my honor to be here. I just love you and your family so much.
Thanks. Wow, if there's one thing I can say about my friend Richard, it's that he is passionate. Whether it's jiu-jitsu, pre-gym, his family, or God, he is 100% all in every area of his life. Gotta love somebody who lives fully alive. If you want to get connected to Richard and Blacksmith Ministries, you can find him on Instagram or Facebook. We'll also include his website info in the show comments for today. Just a reminder that on Wednesday, the Camels are coming, and we'll be having a conversation with some of my married friends about how they met, dated, proposed, and got married. You don't want to miss it. If you'd like to get connected, find me on Instagram or Facebook under the name Melissa Matheson. That's math, like 4 + 1 = 5, I before E, son, S-O-N, as in my 17-year-old son who bought a very ugly, very fuzzy steering wheel cover for his new car. But we'll save that story for another day. Friends, I hope you plan to join us each week on Mondays and Wednesdays as we sit around the table, have a cup of coffee, and talk about what's next, God.